Dragon Ball Legends 5th anniversary has been happening for a few days now, and I think it's safe to say that a lot of people are enjoying the new units, myself included, because I see myself using sagas from the movies way more now than I have in recent time. So much so that I actually have 3 battles that I recorded off screen to show you guys, because again, these units are absolutely amazing to use. But with that being said, let's get into it.
Versus Super Saiyan Teen Gohan, Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, and Piccolo Power Awakening.
And here we are in the first battle. So I lead off with Gamma 1 and 2, and the opponent leads off with Super Saiyan Teen Gohan, which I can already tell this is going to be annoying because of double revival. But anyway, I throw a Ki Blast at Gohan, force him to vanish, tap attack, then they swap to Gamma 1 and 2. I end up tackling them, afterwards being able to follow up eventually, and then, sure enough, I had Strike, and they threw in Piccolo. So, not only did he get Strike cover off, but apparently he had a special move. So, they threw it out and landed damage on Gamma 1 and 2, which is not good. But I keep on getting Ki Blast, and luckily none of them have Blast Armor on Strike, so I can continuously try to throw out Ki Blasts in order to force them to vanish. So, eventually they throw in Gohan, I swapped into Gamma 2, and then forced him to vanish again with Ki Blast, and then afterwards they kind of floated to me and tap attacked. I don't know why, I just think that was just not a good idea. Anyway, eventually I continue my combo on Gohan, I swap back into Gamma 1 just in case they try to throw in anybody, like whether it's Piccolo or the Gammas, to try to cover change, and through that I'm able to activate the first revival, because again, rushing would be difficult if both, Gohan and Piccolo had revival. Anyway, afterwards, Gohan used Strike. I was hoping that they were going to use Blast, so I threw out a special move, but I ended up getting caught by Strike, and then afterwards they threw in the Gammas. Now, I kept in Gamma 1 and 2 just to try to build up their, their swap gauge, so that way I could, hopefully swap and be able to get Core Breaker off. But eventually, I throw in Piccolo to try to counter, and then afterwards, I pop my main ability because their Piccolo just kind of charged in. I used another special skill, and then afterwards, I threw out, well, I was going to throw a Ki Blast. I end up tackling, then I throw a Ki Blast. Afterwards, I continue using it just to try to ensure that the Gammas won't try to come in and just, try to counter everything. Now, here, I should have thrown in Gamma 1 and 2 to do the, special move, but I ended up using this Gohan, which is fine, because at the end of the day, this Gohan still has a purpose. I haven't used his main ability yet, and even at that, so long as he lives, I'm able to take him out, throw him back in, and then be able to get another special move if I land another attack. Anyway, Gohan combos Gohan, and then eventually they throw in Gamma 1 and 2, and they continue the combo. Of course, I keep Gohan in because he has element factor advantage, although he took a lot of damage in the process. But if the opponent were to activate Rising Rush at that moment, I would have thrown in Piccolo because he still doesn't have Revival activate yet. But the opponent's Piccolo, because they swapped him in, I managed to activate, his Revival. So now it's free game for everybody. I can rush whoever I want, whenever I want. The only thing is, I have to be smart about it because of Gohan, right? Like, if I were to use Rising Rush, Gohan was absolutely going in. But luckily, when he threw in Gohan, I managed to get into a clash with him, and I won. So because of that, I was able to get him out of the way very, very quickly. Now, it's just Piccolo versus the Gammas. And again, I still have Piccolo in the back, who has not taken much damage at all, and we're just in a really, really good spot. Now, of course, because of that special move, I had to take out Gamma 1 and 2, and I had to use Piccolo, but I still have Revival, so all I need to do is just get Rising Rush, and I can rush anybody out of existence. So when I threw in Gohan, I landed an attack, and then they gave me another special move, which gave me the next Dragon Ball card. And then from that, throughout my special move and dealt damage on Orange Piccolo. Downside is it filled up his unique gauge, so it destroyed a Dragon Ball. But I eventually get Rising Rush because of throwing Piccolo. I finally draw a Dragon Ball card, and now I'm able to rush somebody out of existence, that being Piccolo. So we land Rising Rush on Piccolo, he's gone, right? And now the downside is I have to be careful of Gamma 1 and 2 because they're last man standing, but they can also activate Core Breaker, which would be very dangerous for me because that attacks everybody on my team. So because of that, I try to play as patient as I possibly can, and I really am trying to get my unique gauge filled. because I want to activate, you know, Core Breaker, right? So I throw in Gamma 1 and 2, and then I try to deal as much damage as I could, but I'm just like 1 card short. Just 1 card short. So because of that, I need to find a way to get another card or to take like a Tap Blast or something. And then afterwards I can activate, you know, Core Breaker preparation mode. But luckily they dash attacked in and hit me, so that gave me like that little boost that I needed to activate. Now, the only thing I have to do is survive with Gamma 1 and 2. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is. So right here, I could have absolutely wiped them out. But I'm like, you know what? Let's just try to land LF because it's so cool. So, the opponent ends up, you know, using Core Breaker. And, of course, it hits everybody on my side. And plus, it makes an element neutral. So, Gohan, gone, right? Piccolo still hasn't had his revival activated yet. So, we're still good there. And even if it does get activated, it doesn't really matter. Because he's coming back with full health. The Gammas are almost dead. And I still have Gamma 1 and 2 in the back. I haven't activated Core Breaker. So, Piccolo revived into Orange Piccolo, and at this point I'm like, if I can just get them to vanish, then I'm golden. So I force them to vanish. At this point they have to stall, because if they don't, then, you know, it would be bad for them. So they forced me to vanish. I managed to match them in the class that we got into, and then from there I just waited it out, because again, I have nothing to worry about. They landed like what, 2 hits, or at least attempted to land 2 hits. And then Core Breaker activated. You guys know the rest from there. So, I mean, when it came down to this battle, I really just wanted to land Core Breaker, right? So again, because I could have ended the battle much earlier. Like, when I threw Gohan in against the Gammas, I could have ended it there by throwing out a special move that would have wiped them out. But again, I saw the opportunity to try to land LF, and I took it. Especially because when it comes down to units like these, like, you know, Gamma 1 and 2, and even Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, it's hard to land these LFs because of the preparation mode, but it's very rewarding and satisfying when you do land it, which is why I opted to stall the ending to try to land Core Breaker. But still, it was a very good experience with that battle, fun to use. But the next battle, though, is kind of crazy.
Versus Goku and Final Form Frieza, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and Android 17.
And here we are in the second battle. So I lead off with Magenta, and the opponent leads off with Goku and Frieza. So I'm at a pretty bad disadvantage right here. I could have rushed in, but I was trying to be careful just in case the opponent was going to swap out the character and vanish. But eventually it ended up with me getting comboed, which is not good. And then afterwards, they tried to land a special move on Piccolo. Now, luckily, Gamma 1 and 2 are in a good spot because there's no red unit. But if there was one, we'd be in a really bad spot. Anyway, now that I have Gamma 2 in, I continue comboing Goku. And from there, I'm wondering why they're not swapping out, because Goku was going to die. But then they threw in Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? Perfectly fine. I pop my special skill. I get a special move from that. I matched their Ki Blast. I got a perfect vanish, but I decided to wait a little bit to see what the opponent was going to do. And they ended up, you know, vanishing and then comboing Gamma 1, which is fine. Because, again, it's going to build up that swap gauge so that way I can continue getting closer to Core Breaker preparation mode. So, the opponent just has nothing but Ki Blast. Like, literally nothing but Ki Blast. So, I'm sitting here waiting for the combo to end. It just never ends. But then I throw in Magenta. Obviously, cover change is still nullified, but I'm just waiting for this combo to end so I can do something. Anyway, eventually the combo finally ends. I wait because I can tell the opponent's being patient. And then after that, I combo with Magenta. I pop my main ability, which I'm surprised with how much damage Magenta's dealing against Goku, because that Goku is actually a pretty strong unit. And then afterwards, I throw out my special move with Magenta, and it knocks down Revival. So now I just have UI Sign Goku to deal with, which is not going to be good. Anyway, I threw in Gamma 1, and they just let off with Ki Blast, so luckily I had another special move. So I throw it out immediately, deal massive damage to that Goku, and then quick attack in and wipe him out. So now Goku is in. For some reason, they have not brought Frieza, So at this point, I'm like, you know what? I can probably try to wipe them out quickly. I was thinking about using my special move, but I followed up with my blast darts, and then they eventually threw in 17. Luckily, I have, what, 2 green units in the back? So we're looking kind of good, but I need to be able to knock down one of these guys because using rush is not really an option. But anyway, I end up throwing an attack blast, and from that, I'm able to combo 17, and then I'm able to activate his endurance. So when it came down to Rising Rush, I had a bit of leeway, but I decided to activate Core Breaker Preparation Mode because at the end of the day, somebody's going to die, whether it's LF or not. So with that, I vanished out the way of the Ki Blast from 17, and then I was hoping to catch him with the special move. It just didn't work. So because of that, I'm worried because 17 hasn't popped his main yet. But then they threw out their special move. I don't know why they didn't just use their main. It would have helped, or at least I would have thought so. But anyway, now because of all of this, I'm in a good spot because Goku and Frieza's unique gauge is gone. So I can rush them immediately. So at that point, if I land rush on Goku and Frieza, that's game. There is 0 way in the world the opponent will win. And sure enough, we landed rush. So now I have multiple options. I can either win the battle with Magenta, I can win the battle with Piccolo, or I can land LF with Gamma 1 and 2. I have literally every option in the world with this. So even if the opponent activates Revival, it doesn't matter. But I opted in to throw in Gamma 1 and 2. And again, if the opponent ever decided to, you know, I don't know, pop main or use Rising Rush at that moment, or whatever the case may be, I would have thrown in Magenta. But luckily, Core Breaker activated. So because of that, we landed LF on 17, and there's that. And this battle was crazy because now with, like, you know, Goku and Frieza and like other units that have like have properties to prevent the opponent from using Rising Rush, it makes battles relatively difficult, right? But still, we were able to get through all of that with these units. I mean, again, like a team that had a unit with guaranteed revival, a unit with endurance, and a unit that counters Rising Rush. Usually those circumstances make it very, very difficult to land Rush, but the fact that we were able to get UI Sign Goku out of the way quickly, the fact that we were able to activate 17's endurance as, well, I won't say as quick as we did, but the fact that we're able to activate it, and we're able to stall Goku and Frieza long enough for their unique gauge to drain, made a good scenario near the end of the battle for us to be able to win with Rising Rush. But with that being said, on to the final battle.
Versus Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, Android 17 and Magenta.
And here we are in the final battle. So we both lead off with Gamma 1 and 2. Anyway, I had a special skill at the beginning, so now I have 2 strike and 2 special moves. So they forced me to vanish with blast, but I catch them on the sidestep, and then I throw out strike. And then when I throw out my special move, they threw in Magenta, but we dealt massive damage against him, which is great. Anyway, Magenta goes in with strike. Then I throw in my Magenta. I should have thrown in Piccolo instead to follow up, but it is what it is. And also, can we take like a little bit to appreciate like how much fun these guys had like making Magenta's animations? Like, you can tell they really enjoyed working on this character. Anyway, I end up vanishing, but I catch their Magenta, so I combo for a bit, and then afterwards I pop my main ability, then I throw out my special move on 17 because he cover changed in, and dealt massive damage against him with Magenta, a support type. So I'm already blown away at that. But anyway, the only thing I'm worrying about now is activating 17's endurance, because if I can do that, then I can rush anybody. But after we throw out Ki Blast, I tried to dash into tap attack, but they throw out strike. So they combo me for a bit, and then afterwards they throw in Gamma 1 and 2, then, you know, I throw in Piccolo, then they swap to Gamma 2. So at this point, the only thing I need to do is, again, activate 17's endurance or knock out somebody quickly. So when Magenta went in, I clashed with Piccolo, and I won the clash. So that put me in a good spot. So I'm like, okay, surely I can just quick attack in, and that would actually wipe him out. It didn't. So because of that, I tackled, and they activated Rising Rush. I vanished out the way, tap attacked, and then Magenta died. But because of that, Cell Max came out and dealt massive damage to my team. So now I'm in a relatively rough spot. Not like, it's not too much to like handle, but I gotta be really careful with Piccolo. So after I do some Ki Blasts, I get Piccolo out of there because I really don't want him to activate Revival like too early. But since I popped my special skill with Magenta and then they threw in 17, I nullified Endurance. So now they're kind of on the chopping block. Like, I just have to be able to get rid of Gamma 1 and 2 and we should be good. So I purposely let Magenta die because also I wanted to see my Cell Max activate. So Cell Max activates and deals unbelievable damage to them. So at this point, I know they are going to die very soon. So I tackle, they vanish, they followed up, and then I wipe them out with Striking Ki Blast. So yeah, I mean, the part 2 units are absolutely fun to use. All 4 of them. Like, I've had nothing short of an incredible time with all of these units. All of them bring something special to the table that I'm pretty sure a lot of people, including myself, are enjoying while using them in PvP. But I do want to know in the comment section below, if you guys did manage to get any of these units, what teams did you put them on, and how did they work out for you? Again, let me know in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.